Listeners who didn't wish to hear about such things should turn off their radios.
Welcome back to Predictorama 2026, my annual attempt to predict the future of AI, big tech, and all things innovation. You can think of it as something like a very specific version of Tourette's, but with slides and aggressive camera zooms. You've been warned. This year, I've prepared 6 predictions, and so, with no further ado, let's jump into prediction number 5. Vertical AI beats horizontal AI. Right now, the AI market feels completely chaotic. New models, new co-pilots, new demos every single week. I swear, I see the words game-changing in headlines all the time. I'm sure you do as well. But what's wild is that a lot of the things they're actually talking about are. While big players like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and others are very rightly grabbing all the attention, there's something much quieter that's happening just below the surface. A lot of their core capabilities are starting to look very similar. We're seeing this rapid convergence across all the large models. This convergence is creating commodity-style dynamics in the market, so pricing pressures, race to the bottom dynamics, etc. And when these models first started to mature, we assumed that the winner would be whoever had the best model. But now, because they're so similar, that's really not a point of differentiation. It's not a moat. At least not right now. Optimization techniques, distillation, open source, shared infrastructure, all of this stuff has dramatically lowered the barrier to entry. The clearest example of these dynamics is China's DeepSeek. When they released their model back in January of last year, the market lost nearly $1 trillion in about a day. That wasn't really about DeepSeek though. That was the market suddenly realizing just how fragile model-level differentiation actually is. Now look, we need to clarify something here. This does not mean that foundational models stop mattering. They absolutely do. I still think the power grid is the best analogy for these foundational AI models. They sit on the bottom of the stack and power everything that's built on top of them. And some of these foundational models are going to continue to push into entirely new territories, of course. There are also going to be new frontier models. There are going to be real winners at that foundational layer, though. And these models, they are going to change the world, full stop. But the economics here are telling. Leaders in the space, like Anthropic's CEO, famously said when it comes to this next generation of frontier models, it's going to cost tens of billions of dollars to train those, ballooning potentially up to $100 billion in just a few years. When people say that the development of AI may well be the single largest human endeavor we've ever undertaken, numbers like that start to put that in perspective. At that scale, you're not talking about product roadmaps. You're talking about deep infrastructure on the level of power grids, highways, the space program. I mean, just massive.
I want 300 pounds lean. All right? I want 300. 260 isn't enough anymore.
Whoa. Slow your roll, pal. What?
300 pounds, Mom. All right?
Why?
300 lean, 6'3".
Why?
All right? Well, because why not?
Said simply, frontier models are not a startup game. They're an infrastructure game, and likely also a national security game. Only a small number of players with extraordinarily deep pockets are going to be able to afford it. Everyone else will rent it and tell their investors that that was the plan all along. And when intelligence becomes abundant to access but insanely expensive to push forward, value starts to move up the stack. When intelligence at the bottom is cheap, the context of these industries that are built on top of it, those narrow places, that's where the value starts to emerge. Which brings us back to this prediction. Vertical AI beats horizontal AI. Here's maybe the simplest way to think about that distinction. Horizontal AI, these foundational models we've been talking about, they sell capability, but vertical AI, they sell outcomes. Horizontal AI is general purpose. That's why you can ask something like ChatGPT anything and it can kind of play with you. It's often prompt driven, at least for now, and it usually lives outside of real systems of record. It's in the open corpus. But it helps you think. Vertical AI, though, it's domain specific. It's embedded directly in the workflows and the jobs we do every day. It understands regulations, edge cases, failure modes, and the like. It helps you operate. This distinction matters because of how value compounds over time. Vertical AI systems live inside of real work, inside of our jobs. They see what actually happens after decisions have been made. They learn from outcomes, not just inputs. They accumulate proprietary context that can't simply be scraped, copied, or politely requested. The more they're used, the better they get. Investors are starting to internalize this because inside of companies, inside of enterprises, trust beats novelty every time. We're seeing more capital be directed towards AI that owns a specific job to be done. So AI embedded in regulated industries like finance and healthcare, AI that's directly connected to revenue, risk, or compliance. Not because it's sexier, but because it's stickier. Okay, so who do I think is actually going to win here? I think it's going to be the companies and products that own workflows and outcomes. I'm a big fan of workflows. They match AI capabilities really, really well. You can imagine a system of checks and balances and compliance loops and things like this, as well as an audible trail. In a closed system, that becomes really possible. So I think that is going to be a very fruitful area for a lot of organizations. I also think we're going to see emergent winners in those who are starting to integrate AI into their tooling and not just replace or augment existing workers, but create entirely new capabilities. We don't even know what's possible there yet. We don't even know what we don't know about big things that run our businesses that AI might really be able to solve. Supply chain issues, the black box that is supply chain, or on the customer side, personalization at scale. These kinds of things we've talked about, we've heard about, we've dreamed about, but because of the horizontal and broad nature of AI, no one has been doing it. But as it gets closed, I think those possibilities are going to be quite real. This prediction is not about what model is going to be the smartest this quarter. It's not about benchmarks or leaderboards or any of that stuff. It's about something just very simple. Who owns the work? And I'll leave you with this. In my own work with Fortune 500s of the past couple of years, I've noticed something really consistent. The biggest reason AI adoption has stalled inside of organizations is not the lack of sophistication of the models or the intelligence. It's the lack of trust. The 3 T's of enterprise data: truth, trust, transparency. Even the most advanced foundational models, they struggle here. They continue to struggle here because they're open-ish and they're designed to be everything to everyone. Vertical AI flips that. It narrows the scope, embeds directly into the real-world workflows, it walls off data, and finally gives enterprises something that they can actually rely on. And that's what's going to catalyze real adoption in the enterprise. That's where the transformation is finally going to happen. We'll see.
300 pounds, Mom. All right?
Why?
300 lean, 6'3".
Why?
All right? Well, because why not?
If you like this video, consider subscribing for more thoughts and predictions on AI, big tech, and innovation. This content is basically open source, so you might as well take it before China does.
Let them have it. Yeah.